KP classes dedicated to excellence.
Welcome to KP classes previous year question solution series for NET Earth Science paper. So as we know, we have already uploaded another video regarding NET CSIR Earth Science previous year question solution. As I have mentioned, we will be discussing previous year questions subject wise. Important subject previous year questions will be discussed over here. So this section is for oceanography. Oceanography is one of the most important topic for NET CSIR examination, and it's a very vast subject which is very important to have understanding about the major questions that come from oceanography, which you can prepare those specific subtopics so that you will be able to score the minimum amount of questions that you will be able to solve the minimum amount of questions from oceanography. So for making it easier, we have come up with our textbook of oceanography and climatology, where all the important topics, previous year questions are discussed over here. The vast topic of oceanography has been divided into 9 chapters for making it much easier. Let's jump on to the questions over here. The second important chapter, or one of the most important section of oceanography, is about the air-sea interaction. So this section is very important. Questions, a lot of questions have been asked from this section. Repeatedly, they will be keep on asking questions from this single chapter actually. So let's discuss one by one. The ice accumulation rate over Greenland is higher than that over Antarctica because of what? So this is December 2014 question. The ice accumulation over Greenland is higher than that of Antarctica because of lower temperature over Greenland, lower sea surface temperature in North Atlantic, lower solar isolation over Greenland, isolation of Antarctica from Southern Ocean by circumantarctic ocean current. Yes, that is the correct option. So before going into this chapter, you should be very thorough with the global circulation of atmospheric circulation plus global oceanic circulation, different warm current, cold current, the different major currents, and it's important geographically where do they exist. All these terms are very important. So this ice accumulation over Greenland is higher than that of Antarctica because of the isolation of Antarctica from the Southern Ocean by the circumantarctic ocean current. Now, all tropical cyclones which form over the warm tropic ocean have a tendency to move towards the pole. The reason, okay, this actually is not directly from the oceanography portion. These vorticity terms are important for climatology, atmospheric science. We'll discuss it over there again. So here there is an absolute vorticity, conservation of absolute vorticity happening above the poleward motion. Okay. Now, the intertropical convection zone ITCZ is furthest from the equator over. This is again very important. This is, we know it's over the Indian region, whether Indian region during July, Indian Ocean region during January. This is what you need to understand. Answer will be B, Indian region during July. This again is both related to ocean science and atmospheric science. Okay, so this circulation part is also very important. Next, albedo of Earth's surface increases during, you know what is albedo means, okay? Albedo of Earth's surface increases during increased volcanic activity, expansion of ice sheet, increase in solar radiation, sea level rises. It's expansion of ice sheet. Albedo means the amount of reflectance, okay? So, from upon glacier, albedo is 100% actually. So, with expansion of ice sheet, albedo of Earth's surface will increase. Next question, which of the statement above is let me check which of the statement about is wrong. Cyclones, again this is about cyclone, which is actually coming under the climatology section again. Anyway, cyclones rarely form near the equator. Cyclones form in the zone of strong vertical wind. That's a wrong statement. Cyclones can form when there are extensive ocean areas with a surface temperature greater than 27 degree. No. So that's also correct. So option 2 will be this B option is the wrong statement. This is also about the okay. If the earth is rotated from east to west instead of west to east, which one of the following is likely to be changed? This is actually a very common question for NET CSIR examination. Very common question. This has been asked in 2015. They will be asking they will form the question in a different way. Okay, what will happen if there is this variation in the circulation? So, distribution of high and low pressure belt, magnitude of Coriolis force, the direction of Coriolis deflection, seasonal deflection in ITCZ. So what will happen when the instead of east to west, west to east, earth is rotated from east to west, one of the following will be likely to change. Nothing else, direction of Coriolis deflection. Coriolis force, Coriolis movement is very important. The concept of Coriolis force is very important for NET CSIR examination. Largest single contributor to the planetary albedo of Earth is, again I have already went through this portion. What is albedo means? The single contributor to the planetary albedo of Earth is clouds. No ocean. Answer will be clouds. The largest single contributor to the planetary albedo of Earth is clouds. Yeah, it's clouds. Now, this actually this chapter, no, it's the interaction between air and sea. So both atmospheric science terms will also be coming over here. That's why this question has been mentioned here along with this chapter. When a parcel of air descends from height, its volume and temperature increases, its volume and temperature decreases, its volume increases. Yes. Option C will be the right answer. Sorry. Option B will be the right answer. Its volume decreases, temperature increases. Okay, so parcel of air descends from the height, its temperature increases and the volume decreases. This is very important. For the lower atmosphere, the main source of heat is. These are very interesting questions, right? Space and cosmic radiation, insolation, absorption of UV radiation by ozone, terrestrial radiation. I want you guys to get the answer first, then I'll explain. Nothing. This is the answer, terrestrial radiation. When it comes to the lower atmospheric level, we know in remote sensing we'll be discussing this entire section in detail. That when an incident ray of light from sun comes, how it interacts with the earth's surface. Few amount of them will get reflected, few of them will get absorbed, and the absorbed energy will be re-emitted as heat waves, and that acts as the long wave, which will have a longer wavelength, and those are the terrestrial radiations which increases the temperature of Earth's surface, and that's the major source of low atmosphere heat. Okay. Identify the incorrect statement. This is also regarding the hurricanes. Going further, which of the following is true? Horizontal temperature gradient in tropics are much stronger than that in mid latitude. Okay, this is also actually related to meteorology, but anyway, horizontal temperature gradient, this is actually a correct statement. It is the horizontal temperature gradient in tropics are much stronger than that of mid latitude. Tropical heating in regions of moist convection is balanced by vertical motion. That's not true. Tropical heating in regions of moist convection is balanced by horizontal temperature advection. This is the true statement. Magnitude of zonal winds in tropics are about 1 order stronger than low. So the correct option over here is C. Yeah, it's the C. And then this is a good question. Which one of the following contributes most to the heat budget of Earth's surface? Radioactive heat from the rock, internal heat of the Earth reaching the surface by conduction, volcanic eruption and solar radiation. So here the answer is B. Internal heat of the earth reaching the surface by conduction. Most heat to the budget of earth's surface contributed by internal heat of earth reaching the surface by conduction. Okay. Next one. Which one of the following is a thermally indirect cell? Okay. These are all associated with the atmospheric wind circulation. So there is Ferrel cell, polar cell, Walker cell, Hartley cell. These are very important terminologies. Very important for competitive exam, especially net examination. So this is also associated with the atmospheric science, but it is important in this chapter. So in thermally indirect cell is Walker cell. Walker cell is very much related to El Nino, which has just happened on the earth now, which causes the huge amount of variation in the climatic conditions in this year. Anyway, which of the following condition is not required for the tropical cyclone development? Again, this is not related to our chapter, but still, most moist, unstable. This is not required for the tropical cyclone development. Moist, unstable air. We required a weak vertical wind shear, warm ocean surface water, zero Coriolis force. Equatorial current systems in the global ocean are produced by. Okay, this is a very important question. Okay, again, there are different current systems and its circulation, direction, associated continents, etc. are very important. Now, when it comes to equatorial current system in the global ocean are produced by rotation of Earth? No. Surface wind forcing over the equatorial region of the global ocean? Yes. Change in temperature and salinity? No. High solar? No. Actually, answer is surface wind forcing over the equatorial region of global ocean. Okay. This chapter is a very interesting chapter. How atmospheric circulation causes variation on the Earth's surface. Like how will the ocean circulations are completely affected by or does follow the atmospheric movement of air, global circulation of air. Now, western boundary of ocean currents are stronger in both hemispheres compared to eastern boundary of ocean currents due to. This is also an interesting factor. This is because of the Coriolis force. So again, I have told you, Coriolis force is a very important topic for net examination. Every year there will be, again this is 2019 question. Every year there will be minimum 2-3 questions from this single topic. Okay, so western boundary ocean currents are stronger in both hemispheres compared to eastern boundary of ocean currents due to the variation of Coriolis force with latitude. Not Coriolis force, because of the variation of Coriolis force with latitude. Again, this section, this Coriolis force fundamental part, you should be very much clear about the funda of Coriolis force, which is the major reason for most of the like atmospheric circulation directions or oceanic warm current or cold current direction. Everything is completely dependent upon this Coriolis force actually. Which one of the following is not required for the formation of cyclone? Again, the same question, no, it's different question, but option is different. It does not require high precipitation actually. Tropical cyclone. Okay, before the question was equatorial cyclone, I guess. This was for equatorial currents. No, this was for tropical cyclone development. Which one is not required? This is for tropical cyclone formation. Which one is? It's the same question, different years. At what time the day the near surface air temperature will be the highest? Okay. See, this is the diurnal temperature variation, which is very important related to the atmospheric circulation and ocean current circulation, which is very important. Competitive questions like exams, this is a very repeatedly asked question. Now, at what time the day the near surface air temperature will be highest? Immediately after sunrise? No. When the sunrise is directly overhead? No. When incoming solar? Yeah. When incoming solar and outgoing long wave radiation balance each other. So during the afternoon from 2 o'clock to 3-4 o'clock, the highest temperature of earth surface will be at that particular time. So this diurnal temperature is very important. Diurnal temperature variation is very important, which actually comes under remote sensing, which is also applicable in all these topics too. Which one of the following does not apply to tropical cyclone? Again, another question from tropical cyclone. It's the warm core system. Okay, though we are not explaining the cyclones over here, that's I'm not explaining the questions too. Direction of gas exchange between air and sea is controlled by. Gas exchange between air and sea is completely controlled by concentration gradient. Another important topic. Concentration gradient. In which set of the following atmospheric layers temperature increases with altitude? This is actually even in UPSC-GSI also they have asked questions related to the temperature variation, how in the atmosphere with increase in the height temperature varies, whether the temperature increases with height, whether the temperature decreases with height in different layers of atmosphere. That's very important. So here the question is, in which one of the set of following layers the temperature increases with altitude? So the answer over here will be stratosphere and thermosphere. In thermosphere and troposphere, it's true, but in troposphere with increase in the altitude temperature actually decreases. Then in troposphere, again I have mentioned that. Mesosphere, again it's different. Troposphere it's there, so the option D will be the correct answer. Stratosphere and thermosphere. Which one of the following is not a thermally driven direct circulation? So polar cell in the northern hemisphere is a thermally driven direct circulation. Hartley cell is also a temperature driven. Ferrel cell is actually not a temperature driven circulation. It's because of the polar cell and Hartley cell, the in between the Ferrel cell is forming. So Ferrel cell is the answer. It is not a it's not a thermally driven direct circulation. Okay. Yeah, this is a good question. Which one of the following statements about trade wind inversion is not true? About the trade wind inversion, the inversion increases in thickness and gain height towards the lower latitudes. This is actually true. The strongest inversions are observed over the western. No, strongest inversions are observed over the eastern portion of the ocean during the winter. So that's not a, this is not true actually. Considerable cloud development can take place below the inversion layer. Inversion is due to the subsidence associated with the subtropical highs. Yes. So this all the terms, what is subtropical high, this term is very important. Why the inversion? What is this inversions means? What is trade wind means? See, this is the importance of solving previous year question. While solving the previous year question, you will come up with new terminologies. So if you don't have enough time to go through the subject, what we can do is look at each topics in these options and go through them, like understand the definition. What is trade wind? What is trade wind inversion means? What are the characteristics related to that? What is the subtropical high means? All these are important terminologies. Okay, so same thing over here in our textbook also we have explained each of these term with their definitions have been mentioned over here. Like you can see very easily in a colorful manner, all the terms have been explained for the geology students, for the easier for them to understand without wasting any time. So you guys can avail the study material which will be provided to you with the recorded lecture section or live classes, yes, of the online classes. When whatever you achieve, avail of our classes, along with that, this you can buy along. Not only oceanography, climatology, all other geology subjects are also mentioned. You can check in the description box. The link will be provided over there for the study material, so you can understand the details. Anyway, another question related to Pacific Intertropical Convergence Zone is the region where, which one of the following is correct in the tropical Pacific? Intertropical Convergence Zone is a region where sorry, tropical easterlies and subtropical westerlies meet. No. Tropical westerlies, subtropical easterlies. No. Tropical easterlies of both hemisphere meet. Yes, this is the ITC said terminology. ITC is a terminology. Which one of the following is correct in the tropical Pacific intertropical convergence zone? ITC is a region where tropical easterlies of both hemisphere meet. On an upper level weather chart, the wind tend to blow at constant speed or at angle between 15 and 30 degrees to the contours towards low pressure parallel to the isobar. This is the correct answer. In the upper level weather chart, winds tends to blow parallel to the isobar. These are actually very interesting topics we will be discussing in the class. Both atmospheric, mainly we will be discussing this in the meteorology part, atmospheric science section. Which of the following is characteristic of a typical hurricane? When it comes to a typical hurricane, strong winds with heavy rainfall and warm core. This itself is a typical characteristic of a hurricane. Strong wind, no, there will be always rainfall, heavy rainfall and warm, calm wind, strong wind with heavy rainfall and cold core, no, warm core always. Okay. Which one of the following has the lowest albedo percentage? So, which among the following, which one will have the least reflection? That's what they meant over here. That's the question actually. So, over here, the least reflection here, least albedo will be of vegetation, deserts, and calm water. Calm water will have the least. Water is something that absorbs most of the energy falls on it. Okay, so its reflectance is very low. If you look at the reflectivity, water does not have, in all the optical images of remote sensing, water appear to be much darker because of the less reflectance. So, the reflectance from calm water is way lower. Depending upon the surface disturbances, more waves or more irritations on the surface, reflectance will be higher. Ice forms more easily in low salinity and shallow water. This is also very interesting term. Ice form more easily when the salinity is low and the water condition is shallow. Okay. The rate at which the sea ice forms is a function of air's temperature and wind speed. Air temperature and wind speed. The observed surface winds in different latitudinal belt over Earth have both easterlies and westerlies. So this terminology, because of the net transport of angular momentum to and from the atmosphere over the entire Earth, will not varnish otherwise. That's how the observed surface wind in different latitudinal belts over Earth have both easterlies and westerlies. Last few questions. Typically, east-west components of horizontal winds have higher magnitudes than their north-south components primarily. Again, this is because of the Earth rotates west to east and about its axis in 24 hours. That's why the east-west components of horizontal winds have higher magnitudes than the north-south components. Typically, vertical velocities in atmosphere has a lower magnitude compared to the horizontal wind magnitude, since the atmosphere is no, it's not stratified fluid under hydrostatic. It's a thin fluid with vertical length scale much smaller than horizontal length scale. This is option C is the correct answer. This is also actually an atmospheric science question, not oceanography question. Using the force knowledge of the forces that control the horizontal flow, answer the following. 35, question number A is identify the type of wind aloft over 40° north shown in the following figure. So this figure is not very clear. So the type of wind aloft over 40° north, actually you can see the direction in which it is moving. It's anti-clockwise direction, and this is the low pressure zone over here. and the velocity, the velocity of the pressure actually increases. This is 850 hegapascal, this is 810 hegapascal over there, 810. So the variation in pressure can also be identified. So this is almost a gradient wind shown over here. Then with reference to the above, the pressure gradient force acts. Okay, pressure gradient force obviously acts inward and is greater in the magnitude than the Coriolis force. That's why it's not, this particular direction is not shifting in this way, it's not turning, it's following the circular movement because of the pressure gradient is more than the Coriolis force. The surface wind pattern at a location in Gujarat is shown below. Which of the following statement is true with reference to the wind aloft? So you should know Gujarat is in the northern hemisphere. That's the major thing. So over here, though it is in the northern hemisphere, this is where convergence occurs. So cyclone direction is actually what you need to understand in solving these three, in which particular hemisphere the effect of Coriolis force acting on the basis of the hemisphere, these northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere, in which direction the wind will be turning, or what is the pressure gradient variation and how it affects the cyclone formation. So these three questions are also associated with cyclones. So anyway, we'll discuss about the atmospheric science questions also further. There I'll explain a bit about cyclone, or you can join us in our live online recorded lecture or study material course of ours for NET CSIR examination. Our crash course will be starting from 15th of April. So you can also avail that for understanding the entire basics of important topics and the important subjects associated with NET examination. So thank you so much. We'll come up with another video of NET exam previous year questions. Thank you.